Hi everyone out there in the great big wide world of the interwebs, and welcome to the Retro Lobby. I have not been making videos for the past 3 weeks because I've had pneumonia and I've been very sick, and I still have congestion in my chest some, but I'm much better than I was. What is that noise? Anyway, and then I went to the dentist. Woohoo! About 2 weeks ago, and this is what happened. This bruise, and it looks a lot better than it used to. It was about 1 inch long, and it was black and blue. So I don't think he meant to do it, but I woke up with a bruise from hell, and my mouth has been hurting like hell. But I had to have the work done. So unfortunately, I look forward to the day when they can just replace the tooth period with something like just in and out, no pain or anything. Anyway, so there were 2 questions regarding my video. Introduction to Through the Silent Caldera, which is my book. And I am going to answer those questions, and one of them is going to take quite a while to explain. So here's my book, Through the Silent Caldera. The first question is, what did I mean by how I grew up? And why I named my book Through the Silent Caldera. And I will explain that. And my mom was the one who asked this question. So that goes to show you what a very private person I am. But she does know a little bit about it. So because I've told her over the years some of the things that have went on. So she doesn't know the whole story really, because I didn't tell anyone. I grew up in the panhandle of Florida, and the area in a lot of the South in the United States on the East Coast is actually called the Bible Belt. And I did not know that until I met a guy from up north, and we met, and he said, "You know what? You're from the Bible Belt, aren't you?" And I just looked at him and I thought, "Wow, what the hell are you talking about?" Anyway, apparently they call this region the Bible Belt because there's churches everywhere and everyone's Christians, and it is true that the South, where I grew up, and of course the South of the United States, is very much the Bible Belt. Where I grew up, it's Christianity is in the air. It's very atmospheric. Everyone's Christians. Everyone, goes to church constantly. If church is open, they go. And that's just how I grew up. My grandfather was a preacher, and if I didn't go to church with him, I went to church with my aunt. There are reasons why I never told anyone that I experienced paranormal activity ever since I was a young child. I've always been able to see ghosts and animal spirits and things of that nature, and I've always been able to hear spirits. I've always been able to dream that I was someone else, and spirit, and in other dimensions, or whatever you want to call it. I rarely have dreams about my own life. If I do, they're very boring and mundane. They're not very, exciting by any means. So I've always, it doesn't matter whether I'm a man or a woman in that dream, but I'm always someone else. I'm never myself. So, but that's how I grew up. Started at a very young age, and the earliest time I can remember was 3 or 4. And I would have these dreams, and I would wake up screaming bloody murder because whatever I was dreaming, whatever the nightmare I was having would manifest in my room and actually be there in my room growling at me or whatever. And my dad, we lived in a ranch-style house, and the old houses, the hallways were very, very long. And it kind of looked like a vortex or something because they were so long. But really now, that's just how they built them. So anyway, my dad would run down the hallway. And, and this happened all the time. And he would throw open my door because he probably thought someone was trying to kill me or something, and turn on the light, my knight in shining armor, and he calmed me down, put me back to bed, and told me it would be okay. So that's how I grew up. One of my earliest dreams I can ever remember is I woke up and I was having a nightmare, and I woke up and there was a grizzly bear standing over my bed, growling at me on its hind legs, and I screamed bloody murder. And of course my dad, he came and rescued me as usual. And most psychiatrists would tell you that your child is having night terrors. There are times when children are having night terrors, but and I'm sure that's what the doctor told my mom, but that's not what was happening at all to me. This is the thing: children, when they're so young, they have the ability to see things that adults cannot see, whether it be spirits or other dimensions or whatever. So this one time, I woke up again from a nightmare, and Big Red was in my room. And Big Red was my cousin's dog next door. I didn't talk to Big Red that much because Big Red was, she was a red terrier, I think. She was a really big dog. But she was an older dog, and she's very sassy. And she really didn't pay attention to children. So, and I always had, all kinds of animals around me. So I really didn't bother with her. But, I always watched her, run up and down the road. And, because we lived out in the country, out in the middle of nowhere. And so one night I was asleep and I was having a nightmare. And of course I woke up and in my room was Big Red growling at me. And nearly had, I just was like, what are you doing in my room? Because somehow I thought, the dog had got in my room, and of course she didn't. But, and then she just, disappeared. So after that night, I never saw Big Red again. And I don't know whether she'd run over or whether, she was fighting a predator or in trouble with another dog and having an argument or whatever. But I never saw her again, ever. And so after that, I got a little bit older and I got used to seeing spirits and ghosts, and it didn't bother me as much. And if I woke up and saw something, I wouldn't scream anymore because I was so used to it, and I would just go back to bed or hide under the covers mostly. So this one night, I was asleep, and of course I had to get up and go to the restroom. Well, my room was catty-cornered to the bathroom. And I opened my door as usual, walk out into the middle of the hallway, and there in front of me was a giant wolf's head floating in the middle of the hallway. Giant wolf's head. And it looked like a gray wolf, and it was huge. And I just stood, and I was paralyzed. I just stood there and looked at it and thought, this is not happening right now. So, sorry, I've got a bad cold. But, so I turned right back around, and I went into my bedroom, and I stayed there for about a good hour. And then I said, I really have to use the restroom. Oh, my God. So I opened the door, and I peeked out, and I didn't see anything anymore. So, I went to the restroom, of course. But that wolf has been bothering me through my life. And I think it's like an animal totem or something like that. Because my brother, when I was 18, gave me a big giant wolf tapestry. But so growing up and always going to church, let me show you something, because I know there are going to be Christians out there, or maybe very religious people, who will say, oh, you don't know your Bible, or this or that. And that's not the point. I do know my Bible very well, and I can prove it. The reason why I did not tell anyone what I was experiencing, all the paranormal activity, is because I grew up in such, just that a Christian community, and it was so much a part of our lives. And So often in sermons, you would hear, oh my God, you're going to go to hell if you don't follow Jesus, if you don't follow God, if you don't do what God says, you're going to burn in hell. What else was that one? Oh my God, the false prophet. That's all I heard. Oh, you're a false prophet. If you do this, you do that. Or if you're a witch, you're going to hell. Or what's the other one? There's another one. I don't remember right now. There's another one they always preach about down south. And I always thought, oh yeah, witches, if you're a witch, you're going to hell. If you're psychic, you're going to hell. Always somebody's going to hell, you know? And I just thought, oh my God, if they only knew what was going on in my life, they'd probably say, you know, you need an exorcism, or you need to be put on medication, or you need to, what's the other one? Oh, or you need to shrink or something, you know. And I had always had confirmations in my life that whatever I was experiencing was real. So I knew I wasn't crazy. I knew I didn't, you know, need a shrink or exorcism or anything of that nature, for God's sakes. So I was very, I just thought it would be wisest for me not to tell anyone what was occurring in my life, because there was no one in the world around me at that particular time that I was aware of that was going through anything I was going through. So, for everyone out there who thinks I didn't try to find all the answers in my Bible, which, oh my God, I did. This is my Bible that my mom and father gave me when I was a child, and as you can see, it's tattered and torn, and yeah, looks pretty bad. But I keep it because, you know, my mom and dad gave it to me, and, you know, my dad passed away years and years ago, so, you know, that's why I keep it, because, you know, I don't necessarily believe everything in the Bible. And I have my problems with a lot of the things that are taught from the Bible. But there is a lot of wisdom in it. So I keep my Bibles in the house. And there are other reasons as well. So the person who really saved me, I guess, in my early 20s, where I felt like I wasn't crazy and I wasn't out of my mind, and it was okay what I was going through, and it was normal. Is this lady I saw, I think it was on Oprah. And you know what? I don't watch Oprah. Very rarely do I watch Oprah. But this is the book, Proud Spirit. It's by Rosemary Alty, and she's from England. And it's about all her experiences being psychic and seeing spirits and ghosts and animal spirits and all this kind of stuff. So she really did. God, there's some stories in here that I have went through that are very similar, and I mean, just tears, because I have gone through this, I've lived it, and it really did make a difference in my life to where I could talk about what I was going through, paranormally speaking. You know, I mean, when you have a ghost slam a truck door that's wide open and there's no wind, you know, I literally slam. I mean, you know, it's kind of scary, and I was 18 when that happened. And then when I was a little bit older, I was pregnant with Lillian, which is my oldest daughter, and I was driving doing some courier service, and I got off at an exit ramp, and there was a strange white van. I just thought it was the strangest thing ever. So I started looking in the guy's, his side mirror, driver's side mirror. And I was really concentrating on that because I don't know why. I just thought it was weird. This fan, I just thought it was the weirdest thing. Anyway, but, his face literally changed into a demonic face. And I saw it in the mirror, and I thought, oh my God, did I just see something, or did this really happen? Because I always, I'm very analytical and very scientific, and I always ask that question, no matter what I see or hear or think, I always, I want confirmation. That's the thing with me. And camera quit zooming. Oh my God, quit it. Anyway, so let me back up. Let's see if it'll stop. Anyway, so I looked in the driver's side mirror, and I kept looking in that mirror, and sure enough, oh my God, what are you doing? Come on, come back. Hold on. Let me fix the stupid camera. There you go. Quit being an ass, camera. Anyway, so I looked in the mirror. Thank you. Very good camera. Anyway, so I looked in that mirror, and he looked right at me. And I have to say, that just kind of unnerved me a bit. It really did. And I'm pretty damn hard to unnerve. Anytime I see anything supernatural, or hear anything supernatural, I take it with a grain of salt unless it's pertaining to me or my children, or unless it's really important. I don't always, think, oh, well, this is concrete evidence or whatever. So I went home that night, and of course I was living with my ex at the time, my ex-husband, and I told him, I said, I told him what I saw, just like I just told you. And you know what he said? He said, Karen, he said, don't tell me shit like that. I mean, that's the type of person I was living with. And I just looked at him and said, why? He says, because it scares the shit out of me. That's why. He says, just don't tell me. And so, I grew up in a religious, spiritual box. And that's why I don't tell people a lot of things that happen in my life, because, it really doesn't scare them. And, I hear my father sometimes, or sometimes I have visions, or, sometimes he comes and talks to me when I'm very upset. And, that's always been happening since I'm about 18 years old. So, it tends to scare people and really bother them. So that's why I don't go around telling people my business. I do, however, tell my children, and my children have the same gifts as me. So we do talk extensively about everything, and we do meditate together, and, which brought us closer together. So that's how my book, Through the Silent Caldera, here it is, Through the Silent Caldera. That's how I titled my book, because I felt like it described me metaphorically, how I grew up and how I lived most of my life, basically in a spiritual box. And, I am thankful that now I am able to talk about, all these experiences in my life, but they are, that it is a lot different from how everyone perceives me. So, anyway, I hope you enjoy this video. I am going to answer one other question really quick. Oh yeah, there was this guy who thought reincarnating Mr. Flagler was about sex. And you know what? It's not about sex. It's about a spiritual journey, actually. And I can see where he would have thought that, because there are a few lines that are that could be perceived that way, actually. But I think when you're on a spiritual journey and you're trying to find yourself, that sometimes you do have highs, or if you do have a lot of spirits around you, you do feel that, that spiritual high. If you go to church, and you're singing or whatever, or maybe the preacher does a specific sermon that touches you, spiritually, then you'd be on a spiritual high, and it would make you happy and thankful, and that's really what it's more or less talking about. It's a spiritual journey. It's not necessarily it's a spiritual journey about getting away from someone, so you don't have to deal with them anymore. But I left that person out of there because it really wasn't relevant. Anyway, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Happy New Year to everyone. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas. Hope you have an excellent New Year. And I do have one last thing to say, and I know this video is very, very long, but what I will be doing on the next video, and it doesn't pertain to my book at all, but I will be doing a video about spiritual cleansing, because there are easy ways to get rid of negative energy, negative entities without doing an exorcism, without without all the drama, so to speak. Yeah. So I will be doing a video on that. Probably tomorrow after I get some rest, because I'm really tired. And yes, Mom, look, ooh, I used my concealer because you said my eyes were so dark. But you know what? I'm exhausted. So anyway, she thinks I should wear makeup on camera, you know, but, you know, oh, camera, stop. But, I don't like wearing makeup anymore. Anyway, bye everyone, and hopefully I'll see you in a couple of days, okay?